The morning cold cut through Atlanta like a blade. Outside the glass doors of Mercy Children's Hospital, people moved fast, eyes down, hands buried in pockets. They had places to be, problems to solve, appointments that couldn't wait. No one looked at the boy sitting on the flattened cardboard by the entrance. His name was Kamal, 12 years old, dark skin gleaming in the winter sun, jacket 2 sizes too big, sneakers held together with duct tape. He wasn't begging, wasn't crying. He just sat there with an old notebook, sketching joints and muscles with the precision of someone twice his age. He'd been there every weekend for months. Security tried moving him once. He came back the next day, quieter, more invisible. That morning, a black Range Rover pulled up to the curb. The door opened and a white man stepped out. Tall, mid-40s, expensive coat, salt and pepper hair, perfectly cut. His name was Richard Ashford, real estate developer, Forbes list. The kind of man who owned buildings, not visited them. But today, his hands shook as he lifted his daughter from the back seat. Lily was 7, pale skin, blonde curls, legs wrapped in a soft pink blanket. She hadn't walked in 8 months. Spinal injury from a car accident that took her mother. Richard had spent $500,000 on specialists. The best surgeons in 3 countries examined her. Every single one said the same thing. Maybe someday, but don't hope too much. He settled her into the wheelchair, jaw tight, eyes hollow. Then he heard it. A voice, young but steady. "Sir." Richard didn't turn. "I can make your daughter walk again." He froze. Slowly, he turned his head. The boy stood now, notebook under his arm, eyes locked on Lily. Richard's first instinct was anger, then disbelief, then something close to pity. "Excuse me. I said I can help her walk again." Kamal's voice didn't waver. Richard looked him up and down, torn clothes, cracked lips. A child, T, almost laughed. "You think this is funny? Do you think I need a homeless kid giving me false hope?" "I'm not giving you hope," Kamal said. "I'm offering help." Richard's hands tightened on the wheelchair handles. "You don't even know what's wrong with her. Spinal nerve damage. Lumbar region. Probably L3 to L5. Richard's breath caught. Kamal stepped closer. "I watched you carry her last month. The way her left foot angles inward means her flexors are still partially active. That's good. Means the pathways aren't dead, just asleep." Richard stared. His mouth opened, but no words came. Kamal knelt beside the wheelchair. "Hi, Lily." She looked at him, blue eyes wide. "Hi. You feel anything in your legs?" She shook her head. "Sometimes tingles, but not really." Kamal nodded. "That's your body trying to remember. I can teach it how." Richard found his voice. "Who are you?" Kamal stood. "My mom was a physical therapist. She worked with veterans, people who couldn't afford hospitals. She taught me everything before she died." He looked Richard in the eye. "I know what I'm doing." Richard wanted to walk away, wanted to call security. But something in the boy's face stopped him. Not arrogance, not desperation. Certainty, the kind Richard hadn't felt in months. Lily tugged his sleeve. "Daddy, he sounds like he really knows." Richard closed his eyes, took a breath. When he opened them, Kamal was still standing there, waiting. "One session," Richard said, finally. "That's it." Kamal nodded. "That's all I need." They met the next Saturday at Riverside Park. Early morning, barely anyone around. Richard pushed Lily across the grass to where Kamal sat under an oak tree. He'd laid out a clean towel, a heating pad, a tennis ball, and a small jar of something that smelled like eucalyptus. Richard crossed his arms. "So what? You're going to miracle her better with essential oils?" Kamal didn't take the bait. He knelt beside Lily, gentle, respectful. "Can I touch your legs?" She looked at her father. He nodded. "Okay," she whispered. Kamal placed the heating pad across her thighs. "Too hot." She shook her head. "It's nice." He began working slowly, rotating her ankles, pressing carefully along her calves. His hands moved with impossible confidence. Richard watched, skeptical but silent. "Where'd you learn this?" he asked. "My mom used to take me to shelters. I watched her work. Then she got sick and couldn't afford treatment. By the time she passed, I'd already helped 3 people walk again." Richard's jaw tightened. "You're 12, almost 13. Kamal pressed the tennis ball under Lily's heel. "Feel that?" She closed her eyes. "I think so. It's warm." "Good. That's your nerves waking up." For 30 minutes, Kamal worked in silence. No theatrics, no false promises. Just steady, practiced movements. When he finished, he wrapped her legs again and sat back. "Next week, same time." Richard pulled out his wallet. Kamal shook his head. "I don't want money." Richard frowned. "Then what do you want?" Kamal looked at Lily. "I want her to smile like that every week." Richard blinked. "Put the wallet away." "Same time next week," he said quietly. They came back. Every Saturday. Week 2, Lily felt pressure in her right foot. Week 3, her toes twitched. Week 4, she moved them on command. Richard stopped correcting Kamal, stopped questioning. He just watched his daughter come alive again. On week 5, Kamal didn't show up. Richard waited an hour, then 2. Panic set in. He drove to the hospital, asked security if they'd seen the boy. No one had. He searched the nearby streets, calling Kamal's name. Nothing. Finally, he found him behind a closed diner, curled up on a bench, shivering. Kamal looked up, eyes glassy. "I'm sorry, I tried to come." Richard didn't let him finish. He scooped the boy up, carried him to the car, and drove straight home. Lily was waiting by the door. "Where is he?" Richard set Kamal down gently. "He's staying with us now." That night, Kamal slept in a real bed for the first time in 2 years. When he woke, Richard was sitting in a chair by the door. "You saved my daughter," Richard said. "Now let me save you." Weeks turned to months. Kamal moved in permanently. Richard enrolled him in school, bought him clothes, gave him a space to just be a kid. But every Saturday, they still went to the park. And now, other families started showing up. A boy with cerebral palsy, a girl recovering from a stroke. Word spread quietly, powerfully. Kamal worked with each one, patient, present, steady. Richard watched him transform lives with nothing but time and touch. One afternoon, Richard asked, "Why do you do this?" Kamal looked up from his notebook. My mom taught me that everyone deserves to feel human again." Richard nodded, throat tight. "She'd be proud of you." "I hope so." By month 6, Lily took her first steps. Shaky, supported, but hers. The park erupted in applause. Kamal didn't cheer. He just knelt beside her, smiled, and said, "Told you." Richard pulled them both into a hug, tears streaming down his face. That night, Richard sat Kamal down. "I want to start a foundation, fund your training, get you certified, help more kids." Kamal's eyes widened. "You'd do that?" "You gave me my daughter back," Richard said. "This is the least I can do." Within a year, the Kamal Ashford Rehabilitation Center opened. Free therapy for families who couldn't afford it. Kamal, now 14, trained under the best therapists in the country. But he never stopped showing up at the park on Saturdays. And Richard. He walked away from half his business deals, spent his time fundraising, advocating, building a network of care. People asked why. He always gave the same answer. "A 12-year-old boy taught me that wealth means nothing if you don't use it to lift others up." Years later, at Kamal's high school graduation, Richard stood at the podium. "This young man didn't just heal my daughter. He healed me. He reminded me what it means to show up, to care, to see people. Not for what they lack, but for what they carry inside." Kamal stood in the crowd, cap and gown, tears in his eyes. Lily, now walking, running, dancing, stood beside him. "You did it," she whispered. He shook his head. "We did it." Because sometimes the people we overlook, the ones we walk past, the ones we assume have nothing to offer, are carrying exactly what we need. Sometimes the miracle isn't in the healing. It's in the courage to stop, listen, and believe. And sometimes, the smallest act of faith given to the most unexpected person changes everything. Kamal didn't need a title to be a healer. He just needed someone to give him a chance. And Richard didn't need another deal to feel successful. He just needed to be reminded that the greatest investment isn't in buildings, it's in people. One boy, one girl, one family, one life at a time.